Imagine having a peer programmer who never takes a break and knows many programming languages. That's GitHub Copilot, and today I'm going to show you everything you need to know to get started using it. Welcome back to GitHub for Beginners. Last season, we covered the basics of Git and GitHub. This season, we're diving into something really exciting, GitHub Copilot. Whether you're a new developer, a seasoned engineer, or just curious about AI pair programming, in this episode, we will get you up and running with GitHub Copilot, give you an overview of the different licenses available for you, and use GitHub Copilot for the very first time. I'm Kadesha, and I'm so excited that you're here with me today. Now, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. What is GitHub Copilot? GitHub Copilot is an AI pair programmer that helps you write code faster. It is designed to help with programming tasks and serves as your assistant while you're working in your editor and on github.com. Don't forget that part. But it's more than just code completion. It's a complete coding companion that can help you write code from natural language, understand shell commands, remember things you forgot, describe changes in your pull requests, and even help you with debugging, plus so much more. It is available in Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, JetBrains IDEs, NeoVim, Xcode, on GitHub Mobile, and in your terminals and on github.com. You can use it with a variety of programming languages in your editor of choice. Now, how do you gain access to GitHub Copilot? To use GitHub Copilot, you must have a GitHub account and a GitHub Copilot license. There are 4 license options available to you. You can sign up for GitHub Copilot for free or Copilot Pro for individuals. Or you can get access from your job through a Copilot Business or an Enterprise license. If you're a student or an educator, you can get access to Copilot Pro for free through GitHub Education. You can also get free access if you are a popular open source project maintainer. To see a list of all the features available for each tier or each license, click the link that pops up on the screen. If you've never used GitHub Copilot before, I encourage you to sign up for Copilot for free to give it a go. It's really good. Once you sign up for GitHub Copilot, you are ready to install and use it in your editor. Installing GitHub Copilot differs depending on where you're using it. If you're using VS Code, navigate to the Extensions Marketplace and search for GitHub Copilot. Click on the extension that pops up and click Install. This will install 2 extensions, GitHub Copilot, which provides inline coding suggestions, and its companion, GitHub Copilot Chat, a conversational AI assistant that helps you with coding-specific tasks. Once installed, you'll need to sign into VS Code with your GitHub account that has access to GitHub Copilot. If you didn't previously authorize VS Code in your GitHub account, you're prompted to sign in to GitHub in VS Code. Alternatively, you can sign into GitHub in VS Code by selecting the Accounts menu in the activity bar and then sign in with GitHub to use GitHub Copilot. Once you do that, you're navigated to your browser where you can grant GitHub the necessary permissions needed for GitHub Copilot. Click Continue to authorize Visual Studio Code to approve. And you're all set. Return to your editor and you'll notice a Copilot icon at the top, next to the Command Center. You'll also notice a Copilot icon at the bottom of the editor, where if you click it, it may ask you to select the account you want to use, then we'll show you the menu options, where the status should say Ready. If you see these icons in your VS Code, you've successfully installed GitHub Copilot and you're ready to use it. Now, if you're using JetBrains IDE, let me show you how you can install GitHub Copilot. I'll be using PyCharm today, but these instructions are the same across JetBrains editors. Open your editor of choice and navigate to the Plugins Marketplace. Search for GitHub Copilot and click Install and Restart your IDE. Open up a project and you'll notice a Copilot icon on the right-hand side of your editor. You'll also notice 2 icons on the left-hand side, one with GitHub Copilot with a question mark and the other with a chat icon. Select the first Copilot with the question mark icon to get a brief overview of what GitHub Copilot is and a welcome message. Click on the Copilot with the chat icon to open up Copilot Chat, where you can get help with programming-related queries. If you see these icons in your JetBrains IDE, you've successfully installed GitHub Copilot. If you didn't previously authorize JetBrains in your GitHub account, you're prompted to sign in to GitHub in your editor. Alternatively, you can click on the Copilot icon at the bottom and select Login to GitHub. Click Copy and Open, and click Continue in your browser to approve the permissions needed. Press Command-V or Control-V to paste the code. Click Continue, and finally select Authorize GitHub Copilot plugin. Return to your editor, and you will see a message that GitHub Copilot has been successfully installed. Now, we can authorize GitHub Copilot Chat. Click on the chat icon and click the Authorize button. Select Copy and Open, and paste the code in your browser. Click Authorize GitHub Copilot for JetBrains IDE. Return to your editor, and you should see a greeting from GitHub Copilot Chat. Once you've done that, you're now ready to use GitHub Copilot in JetBrains. Okay, now that we have Copilot installed in our editors, let's take a look at how to use it. For today's example, I'll be using Python in VS Code. Create a new file called validate_email.py. Once you start typing, GitHub Copilot will generate suggestions based on what it believes you want to do. For example, I can import the re module, and when I click Enter, Copilot will give me suggested code based on what it believes I want to do. Because the file is named validate email, it provides code for validating an email. I can click the Tab key on my keyboard to accept a suggestion. When I click the Return key, it keeps the fun going by providing the main function to run the code. If I hover over the suggested code, I can see the multiple options available to me. I can also open the Completions panel to see even more suggestions that's been generated and accept suggestions from there. This is inline code complete in action, where that gray text represents ghost texts that have Copilot's suggestions. If you try this on your machine and you got a different response, that is okay. One thing to keep in mind when you're working with GitHub Copilot or any LLM is that responses are non-deterministic. This means that we're likely to get a different result each time we use GitHub Copilot, and the result I get may differ from the one that you get. We can take this a step further by using GitHub Copilot Chat. Let's say we want to understand what this code means. I'm seeing it for the first time, and I want to get up to speed very quickly. I can open up Copilot Chat and type /explain and get a detailed explanation of what's happening in the code. You'll notice that Copilot Chat has a view of the currently open files as indicated by the icon right here. When I click Enter, I get a nicely formatted explanation of the code. Now, let's say I wanted to improve the regex and allow users to enter multiple email addresses. I can make that query right here in Copilot Chat. I can say, allow users to enter multiple email addresses for validation and also improve the regex to be more robust. Then I get a plan, an updated code block, and a list of changes that were made. I can click the Apply in Editor button to accept the changes, and GitHub Copilot will go in and make the updates on my behalf. Now, before we wrap up here, let me take some time to address the elephant in the room. There are so many Copilots out there, so what makes GitHub Copilot different? And what's the difference between GitHub Copilot and other Copilots? Well, GitHub Copilot is specifically designed for programming. And because it works and exists where you work, in your editor and on github.com, there is no need to go back and forth between your browser or another application and your code. You're able to truly stay focused and no longer context switch. So when you hear the words GitHub Copilot, know that it is referring to your personal AI pair programmer. So we covered quite a bit today, but you now know what GitHub Copilot is, how to get access to it, how to install it, authenticate, and start using it. You also know the difference between GitHub Copilot and other Copilot tools. Do let me know if you have any questions, just drop them below in the comments. Thanks so much for joining us today, and if you want to learn more, we've created a blog post that accompanies this episode. Click the link in the description to be taken there. You can also ask your questions in the GitHub community thread. The link will be in the descriptions below. Remember to sign up for GitHub Copilot if you haven't already done so to get started for free, and join us in the next episode where we'll walk through essential features of GitHub Copilot. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future episodes, and until then, happy coding!